Good morning. Hello. Hi there. Welcome. It's time for our daily practice, and we are now in the moon of Tara. We're now in the month of Tara. It is a moon, though, isn't it? Because the full moon was just on Saturday. So we are going to be working today. I had a thought, and I'm going to try it today, and we'll see how it goes. But I had a thought that I might today replace doing Namo Guanxin Pusa with Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha, because I feel like we're supposed to be chanting to Tara during her month. So we're going to try that today and see how that goes. The form of Tara that we're working with today is very important for the Mount Shasta Goddess Temple. This is the Tara that we are, of course, devoted to all of the Taras in the temple, but the particular form of Tara who is significant to the name of our temple, Sogyal Lamo Drayang Ling, is this one, number 2, Tara Yangchen Ma of the melodious voice. She's known as White Tara, White Sarasvati of creative wisdom. Praise her, the one whose face is sublimely white, shining with the light of 100 full autumn moons. She blazes with the light of thousands of stars, radiating light, most excellent and bright. This brilliant white Tara is the consort of Manjushri, who represents the essence of discriminating wisdom. Her creativity is the wisdom that sees every circumstance, no matter how difficult, as an act of empowerment. It is the mind that views situations and says, how can I be creative here, rather than becoming despondent or discouraged? In the Hindu tradition, Sarasvati is the sacred emanation of the sound Om, out of which all creation emanates. Sorry, I have baby cat. Out of which all creation emanates. She is the patroness of the arts of music, dance, painting, drama, the written word, and any tool of creativity. So that is Tara number 2, Tara Yangchen Ma, who is the White Tara of the arts. And she is the protector of the Mount Shasta. She's one of the protectors and inspirational deities of the Mount Shasta Goddess Temple. Our name, Sogyal Lamo Drayang Ling, Drayang is melodious sound. And so Yangchen Ma is the mother of melodious sound. Can I please spell the chant out? Which one, Lisa, which chant? I'm going to do all of them today. So I'll do a couple of them and you'll catch it. And then if there's a further question, I'll come back. So this Tara Yangchen Ma is like our special protector because she is the one who sounds the call. And the reason that our temple is called Sogyal Lamo Drayang Ling is because of our chanting practice. So the chanting that we do here, the chanting that is in the, the basis for our daily practice, the singing, the arts that we create, all of the creativity that we bring forward in the temple, that is under her guardianship. So, okay. And Lisa, I'm just going to have to come back to it because I honestly don't know what you're asking. So, I'll try afterwards. Oh, the new one. Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. And you'll hear me do it, and afterward I will write it down. Okay, so our little gremlin is over there. There's a lot going on in this room today. We are going to dedicate our practice today to our sister in the temple, Heng Yu, and we're going to be raising our voices to Tara Yangchen Ma. She's also a devotee. Thank you, Jessai. She's also a devotee of Tara. And so we're going to be raising our voices for her after our divination. Our divinations this month come from the Dharma cards. So let's see, what is today's card going to be? Yesterday's card was all about how the path of spiritual development begins with the recognition that no bad situation is without its redemptive qualities, and no good situation is without its shadow qualities, and that most of life falls somewhere in between, and that this is the reason why we embrace the middle way. And today we have card number 1, mind. Our worlds are created in our mind. We live as if these worlds are real. Our thoughts and our actions bring misery and complications, and we often have no freedom. In our mind, we create the world, and we live as if this world is real. To realize the truth and free ourselves, we must pass through the doors of awareness. Mind can be a great obstacle to freedom. It chatters all day long about things that are merely distractions, and it is great at imitation. You are a virtual prisoner, and unless you can come to understand the way your mind works and learn to watch it carefully, you'll never be free to climb to the heights you are clearly capable of reaching. Mind constantly swings from side to side, from past to present, from what happened yesterday to what tomorrow will bring. Watch your mind. Watch it carefully, and you will soon see that its basic function is to keep you operating in such a way that you remain obedient and fearful. Every small desire you entertain takes you into the future, helping you escape the past. And like a clock, your mind ticks away quite frantically often between these two extremes. Slow down, the Buddha says. Slow down and become more aware. Watch the ticking clock and don't let it possess you. Become aware of the present moment. It's not in the past or in the future that you will find what you are looking for. Time is a tricky subject because even as we perceive its passing in the aging of our bodies or in the changing of the landscape around us, we have this tendency to put a lot more importance on it than it actually deserves. The world is created and sustained in the present. What is going on right now has an impact on our perception of the past and the future. There's no getting around it. We cannot go back in time, and we cannot write the script for the future unless we can bring ourselves to the present and allow the mind to rest. It's really easy to begin to think that the mind is in charge, that the mind is the one that is driving. But that's not actually the case. Something far more sophisticated and subtle than mind is in charge. In order to access that more sophisticated operational system that isn't based only in the one little me, but in the whole of what we all are together, we have to be able to come to the present. And when we come to the present and we access that transcendent and at the same time immanent awareness, then the mind goes, oh, thank you. I was exhausted. So today, we're going to watch our minds. We're not going to allow the mind to take over and tell us stories about the past or the future. We're going to be with the now, find the power there, and allow the mind to relax. Okay, so that's our short bit for today. If that's what you were here for, thanks for coming. Now, let's go on and do our chanting. And this time we're going to chant Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Thank you, Tara, for sharing the meaning of that prayer in the Goddess Temple app, I see. And then we're going to go on with Om Mani Padme Hum. So a little different today. I hope when I sit down, I have to remember that this is the case. I get so in my mind that it's easy to forget, but I think I'll remember. Okay, here we go. 3 prostrations. Let's take refuge. Namo Guru Be. I take refuge in the inner teacher. Namo Buddhaye. I take refuge in the great mother of compassion. Namo Dharmaye. I take refuge in the wisdom of the ages. Namo Sanghaye. I take refuge in the community of practitioners. And let's set our intention today for Hernyu, priestess of the Mount Shasta Goddess Temple, devotee of Tara. And let's recite the 4 immeasurables. May I be a source of loving kindness in this world and all worlds, bringing a generous heart to all my thoughts and doings. May I be a vehicle of compassion in this world and all worlds, ever mindful and aware of the tremendous suffering of others. May I be a brimming vessel of joy in this world and all worlds, delighting in the happiness of others as their suffering is alleviated. May I be a balance point of equanimity in this world and all worlds, seeing all as equals and all as deserving of goodness. Let's make our offerings. Oh. I light this candle as a symbol of the enlightening Dharma way. May it shine brightly for the benefit of all beings. I light this incense as an offering to Guanxin and Tara, she who hears the cries of the world and she who saves. Umahum. 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 Omahu. 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 Reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind, and present clouds of every type of offering, actual and virtual. I confess all my destructive actions accumulated since beginningless time, and rejoice in the meditation of all holy and ordinary beings. Please, Guanyin and Tara, remain until the end of samsaric existence and turn the wheel of Dharma for sentient beings. I dedicate my own merits and those of others to the great enlightenment. So, 108 recitations of Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. 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 Om Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Ture Soha. Om tare tu re 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 soha. Om Tare Tu 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 Re Soha. Om Tare Tu 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 Re Soha. Om Tare Tu 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 Re Soha. Om Tare Tu 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 Re Soha. Om Tare Tu 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 Re Soha. Om Tare Tu 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 Re Soha. Wherever there is space, 5 elements pervade. Wherever the 5 elements, the homes of living beings. Wherever living beings, karma and defilements. Wherever is defilement, my compassion also. Wherever is the need of beings, there I am to help them. To the hungry I was heaps of food and all good things, and thus I brought them joy. To the cold and freezing I was fire and sun warmth, thus their joy. To the poor and needy I was wealth and riches, thus their joy. To the naked I was every kind of raiment, thus their joy. To the childless I was sons and daughters, thus their joy. To those who sought a lover, I was a loving and attractive consort, and thus their joy. To those who wanted magic powers, I gave prowess in the 8 great cities, and thus I brought them joy. To the sick I was their remedy, and thus their joy. To the anguished I was all their mind desired, and thus their joy. To those hard-pressed by the punishments of despots, I was the loving friend to lead them to the land of peace, and I was thus their joy. To those in fear of wild beasts, I was a haven, thus their joy. To those who fell into the depths, I was their drawing out, and thus their joy. To those tormented in the fires, I was a quenching stream, and thus their joy. To those in prey to any of the elements, I was their medicine, and thus their joy. For those who could not see, I was their eyes and brought them joy, and for those who could not walk, I was feet, and thus their joy. I was a tongue for those who could not speak, and thus I brought them joy. To those in fear of death, I granted immortality, and thus I was their joy. I led the dying on the path of transference, and brought them joy. To those who wandered in the bardo state, I was their spirit guide, bringing them to joy. I cooled the burning heat and warmed the cold of those lost in the realms of hell. Howsoever they were tortured, I changed myself to shield them, being thus their joy. To those who lingered in the land of hungry ghosts, I was their food and drink, and thus their joy. I was freedom from oppression and servitude for those caught in the wordless state of beasts, and thus I brought them joy. Those beings born in places of war, I protected them from strife and brought them joy. I was a truce from endless conflict for the demigods, and was thus their joy. The jealous gods I guarded from their bitter fall, and I was thus their joy. I shielded all from everything that tortured them, and was their every joy. And now let's call out to Guan Yin with 108 recitations of Om Mani Padme Hum for the benefit of all beings, particularly our sister Heng Yu. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 And let's give thanks for our teachers. May all of my blessed teachers enjoy long, happy, healthy, productive lives and great support for their good works. May all beings benefit from their wisdom. May they enjoy a swift and happy rebirth. And long life prayer for Lama Dechen Yeshe Wangmo. Om Swasti. Through the powerful blessings of the immortal Pema Jungye and his consort, may the three secret qualities of the Dakini of Supreme Bliss Yeshe Wangmo be utterly stable, and may the light of her activities shine on the lotus groves of the teachings and of beings, so that they blossom in radiant splendor. And let's dedicate the merit. May the merit of this practice and all of my activities be of endless benefit to all beings in all realms, beginningless and continuous. May all obstacles be overcome and suffering cease at the sound of liberation. May all beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all beings have happiness and its causes. May we carry the essence of Guanyin and Tara in our hearts. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Don't forget to list your counts in the comments. Thank you so much for joining today, and we'll be back tomorrow. Bye.